Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for this Sunday, June 26, 2022. Thank you for listening. Please be sure to subscribe and support this channel by donating anything that you can. Will be very much appreciated for us here at the Weather Guru. Now, we're going to be looking at the tropical update in just 1 second, but I want to show you the national picture for the lower 48 here. We just have some showers and thunderstorms extending from the southwest through Oklahoma City, through St. Louis, had heavy rain this morning, and on through the Ohio Valley here. This rain will continue to march eastward. Elsewhere around the country, we have huge warm temperatures in the southeast and the northeast, with temperatures generally ranging from about 75 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains down to 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit in the southeast. Heat indices will be over the 100 degrees Fahrenheit, obviously from Houston, Texas to Dallas, through New Orleans, Biloxi, Mobile, Pensacola, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, and down through the Orlando and I-4 corridor. Temperatures will also be warm in the upper Midwest now, from Minneapolis, but pleasant as low humidity takes over from Minneapolis, St. Paul, down through Chicago, back over to the Quad Cities of Iowa, into Kearney, Nebraska, Omaha, and on through Pierre and Watertown, North Dakota. Out west, things look absolutely fabulous as well, albeit some heat records will be broken in places like Fresno, California, down through LA and San Diego, and back toward Las Vegas. The monsoonal flow continues from the southwest into places of New Mexico, like Truthful Consequence, New Mexico, up through the I-25, New Mexico corridor there, going through the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, over toward Albuquerque, Taos, New Mexico. All those areas will pick up some rain, additional rain into Colorado Springs, Colorado. This rain will continue to provide additional benefit for those who are fighting the firefighters, as well as other additional benefits will be coming of this rain. That is the national picture. In weather news today, we have heat relief is on the way for the northwest. The northwest, all of a sudden, they had beautiful below average temperatures the last 2 weeks, so they're ending the month of June with a cool down by as much as 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. We do have the storms continuing to slice their way through the northeast, and humidity will continue the values to continue to be up. But like I said, those rain showers coming through the Ohio Valley will produce some of them will be severe, but they will definitely produce straight line winds and some hail, pea-sized hail, or maybe up to nickel-sized hail in some of the locations in eastern Illinois, eastern Ohio, and up to the Great Lakes on that side. Now, Lake Mead water levels continue to drop here, according to AccuWeather.com. The nation's largest reservoir is at its lowest level since it was filled in the 1930s. Experts say that declining water levels is deadly serious here. Lake Mead water levels continue to drop. The largest reservoir measured 1,043 feet. Its lowest level since the lake was filled back in the 1930s. And just on the side note, water is extremely important resource, as you know, guys. It is a non-renewable resource here, and the aquifers and the water tables, and not just in the southwest, but in the southeast and other parts of the United States, continue to drop here. And we have to be very, very careful about that, because water and oil is two resources that are going to continue to be impactful going forward. Should the water levels fall below 895 feet, according to the article, the reservoir will become a dead pool, meaning water levels will be too low to reach the lowest water outlet at the Hoover Dam and flow downstream. So just something to keep in mind there as well. Looking at our current hazards from the National Weather Service, basically just a lot of heat advisories for the Pacific Northwest, the PNW, from Seattle to Bellingham, Washington, down through Salem and Portland, Oregon, into the northern reaches of California there, say around Redding and Mount Shasta, Weed, California, and down through the central San Joaquin Valley from Fresno, Bakersfield, down through the Santa Ana Mountains, heading toward I-5 corridor, Temecula, heading towards outside of San Diego. Those areas are under a heat advisory for extreme heat temperatures in the 90s and above. And also we have a heat advisory in the mid-Mississippi Valley. If you're in Shreveport, Texarkana, Little Rock, Conway, Arkansas, down through Greenville, Mississippi, Jackson, down through heading toward Tupelo, Mississippi, and all those areas there to the shoals of Alabama. Those areas under heat advisories as well. Elsewhere in the country, you look pretty good. There's some minor flood watches in effect for Utah, St. George, Utah, up through that I-15 corridor there in southern Utah, and also into northern New Mexico. If you're heading I-25 through the San Cristo Mountains, just north of Albuquerque into Raton, New Mexico, and those areas. You're under flood watch there currently. So that's our watches and warnings. Now on to the tropical update. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tropical entity that is a couple hundred miles to the east of the Windward Islands. This entity is given a high chance of tropical development through 5 days, 70% chance, and through 48 hours, according to the National Hurricane Center, is given a medium chance of 40%. So this tropical depression is likely to form in the early to middle part of this week, probably around Tuesday or Wednesday. We could be looking at a tropical depression here in the far Atlantic. Now, normally we don't look out this far in this basin because of the Saharan dust content, the SAL, the Saharan air layer, and also because sea surface temperatures are not quite as warm. However, this storm is given a very favorable chance because wind shear is relaxing out here, as we can see on the satellite map. And there's not much to inhibit growth. Now, it is further lower latitude, but it will pass through the Windward Islands. We're looking at probably Wednesday, Thursday, possibly going through the Windward Islands and into the Caribbean Sea, the Caribbean Basin. At that chance, we don't know what happens, but it's possible that we could be looking at Bonnie here. That's the next name on the list here later on, but it's too far out right now to make that call. So I will leave that to the National Hurricane Center. However, it is forecast to make a tropical depression to form in the middle part of next week. We also have a next disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico. This one's given a 0% chance in 48 hours. This disturbance hanging off the southeast Louisiana coast, and a 20% chance in the next 5 days. The models are suggesting that after next week, close to the end of next week, there is a cold front slipping down from the plains. That on the tail end of that cold front, if it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, there could be some development there too in the Gulf. So people from Houston, Beaumont, to Lake Charles should watch that if on the tail end, but it wouldn't be anything significant. Maybe we'll have to watch and see. So that's all we have as far as the tropical update going on here. This is the Weather Guru. Thank you for listening to me. Please be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Thank you.